Everyone, I'd like to get the meeting started. I'd like to bring this meeting to order for the Town of Brunswick Planning Board for January 16, 2025. If everybody please rise. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, our agenda this evening is as follows. This is posted on the town website and the town board. Number one, Galavan waiver of subdivision. Applicant seeks to transfer approximately 0.25 acres from a lot number 2 to lot number 3 on property located on the western side of Deep Hill Road. Sean Galavan is the applicant. Number 2, Marie's Muse LLC. Site plan, minor subdivision, and special use permit. Applicant seeks a minor subdivision approval, site plan approval, and a special use permit to construct a retail store with gasoline sales on the western portion of the site and a drive-through restaurant and second retail store on the eastern portion of the site at 727, 737 Hoosick Road and 4 Mohawk Avenue. Marie's Muse LLC is the applicant. Number 3, Paramount Building Group, major subdivision. Applicant proposes a major subdivision on approximately 33-acre parcel of land, as well as construction on a new road with a cul-de-sac and a water line extension on property located on the northeast corner of Spring Avenue Extension and Crick Road. Paramount Building Group of New York is the applicant. Okay, with that being said, our first business order is to approve actually 2 sets of minutes. We did not have the minutes available for the meeting of December 19th, so I'd like to just review those real quickly and approve them. I assume everybody's had an opportunity to read those. Is there any questions? Any amendments, changes, additions? For the hearing none, I will make a motion to accept them as submitted. Do I have a second? There's a second. Any further discussion on the December 19th minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now moving forward to our next set of minutes, which is on January 2nd. Has everybody had an opportunity to review those? Is there any corrections, additions, changes, anything? Okay, then I will make a motion that they be accepted as submitted. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
A second. Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. First on our agenda tonight is going to be Galavan waiver of subdivision. And please note that Linda Stancliffe has recused herself. Okay, you have the floor, Brian.
Hello. All right.
There you go.
Good evening. As I had explained a couple weeks ago here, Sean is interested in annexing this little strip of land right here behind Lot 3 that he had originally saved to go with Lot 2 as a means of access, and annex that onto Lot 3 to make Lot 3 bigger. So Lot 3 is going to go from 1 acre to 1.25 acres. Lot 2 will then be accessed by a driveway that'll come in across this major culvert that's down here, right on the property line between lots 1 and 2.
Yeah, we went over this quite in detail at the last
Yes.
meeting.
Yep.
Under new business. Just note that this is a lot line adjustment. They aren't creating another lot.
Correct.
So is there anybody that has any questions on this? Like I said, we did go over it quite a bit in our last meeting, but could not act on it because it was under new business. So,
I think it was brought up that possible organic, but I don't believe personally that it is. So we don't need the access.
It's not ag. It doesn't need a ag statement.
okay,
We decided that at the last meeting.
all right. Any other questions, Sam? And we can move forward with the approval of the waiver. First is the
Like a neg deck.
negative declaration under seeker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Now, on the approval of the waiver, I don't think there's any conditions that have to be placed on that.
Should be clear that, that part that's gonna be annexed does need to be merged into lot 3.
Correct.
Yeah. and
Yeah.
I think the practice has been, once that's done, a copy of that deed merging that in is filed with the building department.
Okay? All right, then with that condition, does anyone wish to make a motion for approval of the waiver? Do I have a second?
Second.
I'll second.
I have a second down here, but thank you. Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You're all set, Brian.
Okay, thank you very much.
Do you wish these stamp drawings back?
Yes, if I could get at least maybe 4 of those
Yeah.
back, Wendy,
Okay,
at some point, that would be great.
all right.
Okay? Thank you all.
Thank you.
No, Wendy.
I need
Have to be
them.
stamped.
I do have some.
Okay, moving along, I discussed with both the representatives from Marie's Muse and Paramount. The time element, they have Paramount Building Group.
No, I just.
Good evening, happy New Year to everybody. Matt Palmer, engineering here.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. So tonight, just hoping to give a brief update on the project status. So far, no significant changes to the site plan since it was last presented. We're buttoning up the final calcs on the SWIP to get over to Wayne's office for their review and discussion. We skimmed over the plan set together, but we'll wait to do our full in-depth profile. We have the rest of the SWIP over to them. One of the other items we discussed at the prior meeting we presented on was updating the EAF to note town board approvals for the drainage district extension. So we'll be submitting that with the SWIP Wayne's office in the town when we make that submission. And also having further discussions on the construction exemption in case that's needed for this project. And the last item I believe was requesting to give the plans to the fire department.
Yeah.
So we did make contact, there's a new fire chief, so that was part of it. Actually, thank you for the assistance with that.
You're welcome.
That was great. So, so Chief Murray should be getting the plans any day now. We asked for a paper copy to email to him.
Okay. Green, do you have any comments?
Well, I just wonder if you had done any calculations on the amount of material that you anticipate taking out of there?
We did not yet as we were finalizing the grading of the problem itself. So we have that buttoned up, trying that back and forth with the SWIP. So once we have that buttoned up, we can absolutely get that over to your office.
Anyone on the board have any questions at this point?
The fill that's coming out of the site now, where's that going?
I did ask him, and he said he's not taking any further material out of the site. So I believe, it sounded like he needed some bedding for his cows. But other than that, he said he's all done.
So the current excavation is at the detention pond.
No, so the detention bond's gonna be, further south. It's probably close to like where the forebay is now, so the pond will be a little further south.
And then what are you digging down the road?
No, just material for his use as well.
Who's the owner of that property? You don't know?
Paramount.
Okay.
I was over there the other day, that other lot, it looks pretty challenging in there.
It's a 5.5 acre parcel. It's a 5.5 acre parcel there, so there's a lot of room to work with, but it's certainly an interesting lot. Most of the easier to build on parcels have already been built on. So,
That's usually the way it
There
goes.
was an interesting parcel on the opposite corner of there on Sharp Road too, that all of a sudden came up with a plan.
And this gets referred to the county because it's on the town line?
So here in Rensselaer County, the county planning department does not review subdivisions, so it will not be sent to the county.
Does, was it North Greenbush, we notified them about it?
So under the law, we'll need to, all the project sites within Brunswick,
yes.
but we will need to notify the town in advance of the public hearing.
Because
So they can
it's
come.
within 500 feet.
Correct.
Maybe Poston Hill anyway. Poston Hill's up here.
That's correct.
Close to North Greenbush?
Yes, in North
They're
English.
very close right in there.
Yeah, I believe it's somewhere in this
So
zone
they all come
actually.
together.
Yeah,
It's a really interesting parcel.
so we may be notifying two towns, right, before the public hearing.
Yeah, thank you.
But just a clarification, there is no land in the other towns, is that correct?
Correct,
None of
correct.
that side is.
Yeah, for the survey, the property line is actually the town line.
Oh, okay. Right. I don't have any other questions. At this point, we'll wait for you to, finalize this SWIP and things like that. Obviously, we have to get to a position to have a public hearing on this, so the sooner we get all that material together, obviously, the sooner we can do that. Would you be prepared to have that material available by, Wayne's hands by our next meeting?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Would it be fair to assume that that would be discussed at the next meeting? To, to determine whether the materials are adequate at this point, or,
Oh, complete.
Yeah. or don't you think that's a realistic?
I guess it kind of depends on what he is.
All right, well, we'll have to play that by ear, but we'll put you on the agenda for our next meeting.
Thank you.
And that is. I think it's probably March 2nd.
No,
March
February.
5th,
February.
5th, excuse me.
February 6th.
February 6th, okay? We'll be adjourned February 6th. All right, any other questions?
No, thank you. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Okay,
I'll stay warm.
we'll try. Okay. Marie's Muse. We received some materials just tonight. This was the review of the secret documentation by Wayne Bonesfield. And his, Azara, Azara Dutch Design, is that email going to that?
It's pronounced Azar. I
Okay,
haven't figured out anything that rhymes with it, so you have to remember.
okay. Um, I'll give you the floor first. Where are we with everything here?
Sure. Good evening, Tim with Bowler Engineering, here along with me tonight, Colton and Jared. Since we last spoke last year, Happy New Year to everybody.
So good.
We provided that full EAF as an outcome of that meeting. We previously supplied a short EAF amended to the revised application. We provided that full environmental assessment form. We're continuing to push for setting a joint public hearing with the zoning board. That's really our next objective of what we're working towards with this board. In order to do that, as a reminder, we have to come to a determination on secret in order to get to the next step with scheduling that public hearing. Nothing's really changed from the plan since we last spoke in December. We're continuing to work with New York State DOT and develop the traffic signal plans and road widening plans. That's moving along. We hope to resubmit to DOT with a full signal package at the end of this month to keep the DOT permit moving forward. The mitigation, as a reminder, is the same as it was for the prior application of Chick-fil-A for this new convenience store, full traffic signal upgrades, pedestrian upgrades, widening of McChesney, so that scope stays the same. And we've also been in contact with the fire department, working with them. We submitted a revised truck turn template to make sure the fire truck can navigate both of these sites. And the applicant is also working with them about utilizing some of the existing structures for training as we get closer to demolition of the properties.
Did they indicate that there, or was there any indication that there had to be some changes to the traffic flow or the radiuses or anything on the site?
They provided us with their largest fire truck. We submitted a site plan utilizing that turning template. We don't see any conflicts, so I don't suspect that there's going to be any site plan changes as an outcome of that. He's also reviewing the fire hydrant locations, so we might be moving some fire hydrants around with these their comments, but other than that, the truck can navigate both.
Where are the fire hydrants right now? Can we just point those out right now?
Yeah, so right now, there's an existing one right in the middle of our driveway. So we're going to be moving them anyway. Right now, it's proposed to just shift it to the east. It'd be about 220 feet from this building, about 100 feet from these buildings. And we'll work with the fire department just to confirm that that's the appropriate location.
Where's the next one near Mohawk Avenue? Where is that? On the corner?
This one right in the corner. On the other side.
Yes, I know.
No, sorry. That could be used in. All right.
So that's our updates. Would like the opportunity to review any secret-related questions, comments that the board may have. In addition to the engineering letters that we also did receive for traffic and site plans.
You said earlier something about widening.
Yeah, so this section of McChesney is going to be widened as well with the new traffic signal.
But that's not anything new as compared to the original one.
Correct.
Is that for turn lanes?
Correct.
Now, if I may ask a question, I'm new to this, I haven't seen
Sure.
anything strong.
Yeah.
Can you just tell me which buildings are for what?
So there's a series of parcels here. I think it's 7 parcels that are going to be consolidated into 2 parcels, lot 1 and lot 2, with a shared driveway. It's creating a fourth leg to the signalized intersection. On this lot, there's going to be a quick serve restaurant. It's projected to be a Chipotle that will have a pickup lane. There's not a order board where you menu. You order ahead and you use the Chipotle lane, they call it, to do pickup. So that'll have that pickup lane. Next door will be a mattress retail facility. On this side of the site, it's a retail store with fuel service, marked for prospective tenant of Quick Check. They're coming to the area and fueling for 6 dispensers up to the east side, circulation around the perimeter, full access up Mohawk, shared access to the signal, creating fourth light for DOT.
All right, so you'll have an access to Mohawk plus Route 7.
Wayne,
Yes.
you have reviewed the seeker. And you have some,
We went through the part one that was provided by the applicant, looked at the record, made sure that all that was complete. I went through every item and drafted part two for the board to consider.
okay? And we received that tonight. This is the draft, let's see if there's a date on it, January 16th. 2-page document, correct?
I did put a memorandum together, just briefly discussing those items that have the potential to have impact. Going through part two of the secret form.
Okay,
And then the rest of that is the part one, and the draft of the part two and part three.
okay. Now, prior to the meeting, we had a discussion that, Andy, that you should recommend that we put this together as a resolution.
Well, I think it'd be appropriate, you're seeing this evening, that maybe you could discuss that, review it. Probably on this project, it'd be a good idea to have a formal determination with the resolution adopting whatever secret determination you have, and I can certainly work on that with Wayne for whatever you want to schedule by your upcoming board meeting. But I think it's important that you have a chance to review what Wayne has done in terms of reviewing the environmental record. Ultimately, it's going to be the board's determination based on recommendation from Wayne.
Okay? Do you think it's necessary to review any of these highlights that you indicated at this time, or do you want us to mull these over?
We can go through the items if you like. I don't think there's gonna be any surprises, but we can take a look through.
Yeah, if you would briefly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read it word for word.
Okay,
So I went through, I did a brief memo for your consideration. Those items that I felt, that were actually checked off as yes, they have the potential to have some impact. So I'll go through each one of those. We can step through it in this document. That's the part two. I'm only going to kind of talk about those items that I checked yes.
okay,
So we'll start with page one. Item one is impact on land. The proposed action may involve construction on or physical alteration of the land surface of the proposed site. The answer is yes, of course. I went through each of the items and based on my review, each of those items in item one have no or small impact based on this application. Any questions on that? Next item, go to page two, item number 3. Impacts on surface water. The proposed action may affect one or more wetlands or other surface water bodies, streams, rivers, ponds, and lakes. There are wetlands that are not on the site, that are some distance away. Because there is stormwater impacts that are affecting more than an acre, they have to do a SWIP. I said that there is potential for there to be some impact on surface water. Went through each of the
Points in item number 3 determine that each of those considered to have no or small impact. We've been doing a lot of work on this stormwater design. Back to when the original site plan was submitted, all the way up to last month, when we did the review of the revised site plan and the stormwater design. We feel that the applicant now has a reasonable proposal to manage stormwater on site. We're working through a couple of minor details with that, but nothing significant. Any questions on that?
Okay.
Okay. Next page, item 3, there's no impact on groundwater. There will be connected to the municipal water system, and not going to be discharging anything to the ground. Number 5, impact on flooding, does not affect any land subject to flooding. Next page, page 4, impacts on air. Does not include a state regulated air emission source. Item number 7, there were no endangered species of plants or animals identified on this site. There we know. On page number 5, number 8, impact on ag resources. It's not an ag district. None of the other triggers for that, we consider that to be impactful. Page 6, items 9 and 10, there's no impact from aesthetic resources nor historic or archaeological resources. Page 7, item 11, there's no impact on open space and recreation. And 12, there's no impact on critical environmental area. There are no critical environmental areas and things like that. On page 8, impact on transportation and proposed action may result in a change to existing transportation systems. The answer to that is yes. Going through the DEC workbook, there is changes to the transportation patterns. You're adding a driveway from commercial businesses on Route 7. Although much traffic will be bypass traffic, there is going to be additional traffic added to the area. They've done a tremendous job on providing mitigation to take care of the issues caused by some additional development along Route 7. They're changing the traffic lights so that it will be signal controlled coming out of the site. They're widening McChesney Avenue to reduce queues coming down McChesney Avenue to Route 7 and turn right. So I went down through and looked at the DEC workbook, and impacts are considered minor or small based on this application and considering the mitigation that's been proposed. Item number, any questions on that?
Just a quick question. How many curb cuts are actually eliminated now? I know there's a bunch of houses that.
So each property has a curb cut.
Yeah.
So if there's 7 properties, it'd be 7.
6 on 7, you want to move on?
Okay.
6 on Route 7, 1 on Hall. Which we're always striving to do is eliminate some of the curb cuts along Route 7, focusing on bringing traffic to a single point to enter and exit on Route 7. DOT is happy about that.
That's why I mentioned that.
Any other questions?
No.
Item number 14, impact on energy. You're putting the commercial business, there for 7 homes. You're going to have an increase in use of energy on the property. None of which is significant impact, so I checked off the mill or small impact may occur on each of those. Item, any questions? Item 15, impact on noise, odor, and light. There will be some additional activity at this site over and above what was there for the residential sites. For this commercial, there will be additional outdoor lighting. That will be mitigated by making sure that all lighting is downward lighting. There's no light poles going to be higher than 50 feet. We're not using more than 2,500 megawatt hours per year. I switched that over, sorry. No blasting is anticipated or proposed. Any questions on item 15?
I just have a kind of a general question in regards to, is there anything that we have to be aware of involving gas pumps and so forth and so on, as far as health and everything like that, safety, that's brought up under one of these, environmental assessment forms?
Right, you do have to register those at the UST and around storage tanks. You do have to be approved by the DEC, you got to be permitted, inspected.
So that's handled separately.
And it is considered a hotspot now for stormwater.
So our stormwater system has expanded to have a treatment train of preventative for spill. There's an oil water separator for containment. There's a hydrodynamic separator before it gets into our normal treatment practices with the state.
Page 9, item number 16, impact on human health. There's no new or existing sources of contaminants. Page 10, items 17 and 18, consistency with community plan. This is properly zoned. Is consistent to other uses on Route 7. There is no consistency. Number 18, consistency of community character. Again, it's zoned as commercial. It is consistent with other uses on Route 7. Any questions on that page? Beyond the other document, I did take the liberty of drafting a part 3, which is the evaluation of the magnitude and importance of project impacts and determination of significance. What I added to this page, the lead agency has evaluated the magnitude, duration, likelihood, scale, and context of the project and decided potential impacts are adequately mitigated.
Short-term impacts may occur during construction, but in light of the scale and context of the project area, these are seen as a small impact. The project complies with zoning. I've listed it with the seeker status of unlisted. And I checked off that this project will result in no adverse impacts on the environment, therefore an environmental impact statement need not be prepared. Accordingly, this negative declaration is issued. This place was a draft for your consideration. Any questions on that?
Now, just to clarify, this is proposing a negative declaration.
That's correct.
Okay. Canvas the board here is, does anyone have
My
any
suggestion-
problems with a negative declaration?
I don't know, my suggestion, again, would be, there's no polling or anything like that. It'd be appropriate for your board members to have time to review the draft prepared by Wayne. Clearly, it's been drafted with certain responses that would support a negative declaration, but I think the board members.
I wasn't trying to get a declaration.
No, I understand that, but it would not be procedurally appropriate even to poll members or get a sense of whether they support a negative deck until they had time to review the proposed responses.
Duly noted, thank you. Okay. So I guess we're at a point where we're going to do a formal resolution on this, and be drafted, be available at our next meeting, I would assume.
Correct.
At that point, depending on the secret determination, we can move forward with scheduling a public hearing. And that would be coordination with obviously the zoning department, but,
Would there be a target date that we may want to share with the ZBA? We're attending the ZBA meeting next week. There'd be a target date to be asked them at that meeting.
well, I could say that our next meeting is March 6th.
February.
Jeez, I'm just thinking ahead of it. February 6th, excuse me. And,
We won't be able to do it then. if
no,
that's-
we generally require at least 4 weeks.
Right, because of the notice requirements under the zoning law, it's a 10-day notice period. Very difficult publication-wise to meet between the 2-week period. So what the board's practice has been, if it's determined complete public hearing, generally not the next meeting, but the subsequent one, which would put you at the first meeting in March.
March 6th.
Now I can say that, okay. Okay. But that's all contingent on a meeting between February 6th and March 6th to coordinate that with, for the zoning board to have a meeting.
Right, well, my suggestion would be, if you're intent on going to the zoning board, and that was going to be my question, is there any amendment to the required area variances in connection with the current proposal?
There are, and we've been working with staff on finalizing that list.
Got it, and that'll be presented at the zoning board meeting.
That's right.
So I'll take that. Okay, they're not meeting next week on the 27th because of the holiday on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be on the 27th, correct. So you can update the board on the requested variances. If this board is okay with that, you could raise a potential joint public meeting for the board's first meeting in March. How you've done this in the past is generally, since this board meets twice a month, the zoning board generally comes in at one of your meetings.
Yeah.
And simply notice that as a special zoning board meeting in conjunction with your regular meeting to hold a public meeting.
Is that, does everybody understand that timeline and everything? I assume you would be all set with that.
That works for us.
Okay.
If there are any further questions or additional material to hopefully get a determination at the next meeting, we'd be happy to submit any further information. Because we are starting to push the window for construction this year already, so if there is any additional information needed for February 6th, happy to hear it now, or Wendy could certainly keep us in the loop, just to try to stay on schedule as much as possible.
Okay.
And I'll add, when the board's going through the EAF and the record, you want to have any comments or any suggestions, you can certainly coordinate with Wayne, and I'll coordinate with Wayne prior to the 6th for drafting a resolution.
Okay.
One more question. I'm just trying to get a picture. Now, there's 7 lots there, right? Are you merging the lots and then subdividing 2 lots, making 2 lots after that? Or you're taking 3 and 4, or?
Yeah, it'll be through the subdivision process, but it's essentially a lot consolidation. So the lot lines will be adjusting. This middle lot line doesn't line up perfectly at the edge of the lot, so it's enabling all 7 lots to meet those two.
Since our last meeting, which you weren't here, Mike has joined the planning board. So-
Yeah, I apologize, I didn't bring you up to speed from the start, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, you might have some questions. Once he's covered, but,
Yeah.
This is the first time seeing it.
You don't
Now,
have,
did he get all the materials?
He does, he
Okay,
has.
You got all the materials.
I don't have any.
You don't have any more?
I'm supposed to get that.
Ah, okay.
Would you like us to just resubmit a paper copy? I can certainly provide that, that'd be helpful.
Sure. So why don't you do that just to.
you have storefront views of what you're gonna build, or?
These are the preliminary elevations. This is for the western parcel. The conceptual elevations of the Chipotle here.
Is the one for, was it Quick Step? Is that a standard
This is the upgraded brick.
pattern for them?
Yeah, this has the brick facade that's a little more than the Epos.
Okay.
And they also have the brick on the columns of the canopy. It's a
All right.
little upscaled from just the steel columns.
Okay.
I got a little bit of talk about what these buildings are gonna look like.
Well, they've shown us.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. The applications included these copies of the elevations. We just haven't really gotten into the site plan review yet as we navigate secret.
That upper left is facing 57, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, did you have any initial comments or thoughts?
You have one of the mattress
I
shops?
don't really make it. I can resubmit that.
If you have something like that, did we get those in our package? I don't,
We saw some, I think we got some.
You got it.
I think we have the ones from.
Oh, you know what? I don't have it with me.
I don't recall.
I don't have the,
Okay.
is this the last time?
I think you get, sets it over.
December.
Yeah.
All right, I don't have any other questions. Is there anything else? Wayne, are you all set? Randy?
I'm all set, we'll continue to work with the applicant on, moving on to some of this stuff. Otherwise,
In the background of this schedule, we'll provide a formal written response to those comments.
These are very minor comments on the project.
What's your timeline for breaking ground at this point? I know as soon as possible, yes.
It's, they got delivered this year, so that's what we're under the pressure.
Okay. All right. All right. I don't have any other questions. We'll put you on the agenda for our next meeting. At that point, we'll have the draft of the seeker determination and hopefully move forward. All right?
Thank
Is
you all.
DOT gonna review before you have an approval?
Their next review, they want the full traffic signal plans. Start that with them. And that's the critical path, right? Full state over 6 months to order private signal poles. We're hopefully submitting to DOT at the end of this month. Go through that review process to try to get that started.
Okay. I guess we're all set. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you
Thank you very
for,
much.
thank you for moving into the agenda.
Happy to, makes sense.
Okay. That concludes our agenda. I don't think we have any new business, do we?
No, there is no.
Under old business, we did get some other material in our packet tonight, and this was from Wayne's office also in regards to the ongoing comments back and forth with CVE North America, which is the solar complex on McChesney Avenue. So have a look at that. They are not on our agenda right now, but this is an ongoing back and forth of review and questions and answers. Is that correct, Wayne?
That's correct.
Okay. And they haven't been asked to put on the agenda yet, have they?
Not in a while.
Okay. So that's under old business. Is there any other old business that anybody wants to discuss at this point? See anything? So right now, to review our agenda for February 6th is Marie's Muse and Paramount Building Group. I don't have any other items. Do you, Andy? So right now, that's it. I think that's all.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
There's a motion to adjourn and a second. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right. Thank you.
Hold up, buddy.
That's, take care of this. Couch.